Hey there, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, and it is Saturday morning, I think. And yes, I look disheveled, but that's what happens when you're kind of living off grid. Anyway, I just want to do like a quick video today about a vision I had yesterday, and I've just been trying to figure out like what the F is up with people. What is why are they so angry? Why do they want to trample on the backs of other people? Why do they want to kick people when they're down? I just have constant incidences of people assuming that I'm weak, and also that they can continue to, take whatever they want from me. And in most cases, what I do is I give them what they want. I mean, to a limit. And let them hang themselves, because eventually it drives them, totally batshit crazy. So just trying to like get to the bottom of what is wrong with them, right? And I'm talking across the board, and I'm probably mostly talking about Americans. I had a phone conversation yesterday with a friend of mine from Canada, and he was like, what is the wrong with the people in the United States? I mean, don't they understand that what's happening to California is the precursor to what's going to happen across the whole United States? I mean, do they get what's going on? And they don't, for the most part. And say 99.9%. They're like in a selfish, self-righteous, sleep, hypnotic, left brain lateralized, low brainwave disease state, and super unconscious, and just have no idea about anything. It's just about consuming, more and more and more. And, this is the thing, is like so many people in the United States, I got kind of addicted to watching shows a while back, like in 2007 and 8, where they showed people who have these properties and hoard everything. They would literally leave the property, go dig in garbage cans. And a lot of times they even had like a lot of garbage. It was like, are you kidding me? So this is the thing. It's about consuming. And that's where they're stuck. I mean, all these people, are addicted to something. Exercise, diet. I'm not saying that those aren't some things that, you should really monitor in your life, but, to be so obsessive compulsive about it that nothing else matters, addicted to garbage, addicted to hoarding, addicted to medications. They don't even really care what they're taking. Addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, addicted to their thoughts, addicted to their behaviors and patterns, addicted to money, addicted to credit, and they just sometimes jump from one addiction to another. And there's just no way that the kind of consumption that has been going on in the US can continue. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be cheap consumption, because other countries are going to a gold standard, and, you're going to have to pay them full price. There won't be those trade agreements anymore where, we get things for super, super cheap that you can just consume and throw away. I mean, China no longer is taking the world's garbage or recyclables. They're done being the garbage dump of the world, because they're cleaning their party up. They're still in an inner battle inside the country. So, a lot of people in the U.S. are going to totally freak out when they can't consume anything. There's nothing to consume, not even garbage. So, anyway, the vision. And so I've been asking for a long time, I've been asking the creator, like, what is at the bottom? I mean, can these people change? What needs to be said? How do things need to be handled? What is the story? And after I was woken up, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this vision, not like a vision, but like a more of a native vision, like a red road vision, because I've been asking for this for a long time, not like a like a prophetic vision. Yeah. Okay, so it might be a little bit hard to explain, but basically I was shown there were two people, two men, and I don't think that matters. I think it's just about the vision in general. I think it's generalization. So there's two men. One man has this garbage stuff. He has a whole bunch of stuff, and he wants to take it past this area into this area, into another area. Wants to take stuff with him, right? And it has no rhyme, no reason, no value. Like, this stuff has nothing to do with anything. It looks like just totally unimportant garbage. So the guy hands it. There's a guy that's kind of not really the security, but monitoring kind of the people coming through this doorway into this other area. And he stops the guy and says, no, well, there's kind of like an exchange that goes on. And I don't think something happens, and the guy that's at the doorway with the other guys walking up with this stuff, and the guy says, no, let me check out, what you have here. Let me just take a look at it. And so the guy who has the stuff totally flips out, right? He hasn't been denied that he can take it in or not, but he just totally starts to flip out over this stuff that he's holding that he wants to get through there, right? Even though there hasn't been any kind of decision or judgment or anything about it that's taken place, right? It's just being looked at, right? Before he moves through. So the guy dumps it on the other guy, the guy that's standing kind of at the gateway. So that the guy that has the stuff throws it onto the guy and says, well, then you take it through. And the guy says, no, we're not going to do that for you. We're not going to take it through for you. And he hands it back to the guy. He says, no, that you need to take it. And then the guy didn't want to take it, right? And then he didn't want to go through. And so it was like this really convoluted behavior. Let's just call it batshit crazy. So that's the vision I was shown, was that a lot of these people, nothing is going to work for, any way, shape, or form, right? If you just stop them and, ask them what they're doing, even if it pertains to your space, they're going to flip out from so many different angles because their minds are so messed up and their elitist type consuming sick behavior. And then ultimately, when you say, well, that's just, not welcome here or whatever else, then, they're going to flip out again. And ultimately, they don't want to take the stuff wherever they're going, right? It's like it's like so crazy. The vision was like so crazy. And I just woke up realizing you're not going to be able to win with most of them. And once that behavior's set, it's hereditary. You've got several generations of it. Now it's a DNA hook. And I've talked about DNA hooks in the past on radio shows and other videos that I have on my YouTube channel. So on some levels, I feel like 500 tons has been like removed off my shoulders, that I don't have, the responsibility to turn these people around. And so I don't have to lower my information or conversations about some of the things that I want to talk about to include them. I feel kind of freed up from any kind of responsibility. And I could see why Trump would have to pull martial law, because they're so crazy right now that nothing you do or say or allow or help with is going to help. And it's really not going to matter. And it's going to make them crazier, right? Because it's like almost like if you confront them about one thing or just ask them a question, they just spiral out of control, and then they forget what they're even like, what's going on. And then they want to fight about everything, and they just totally lose control, and they just go totally wacko. What was it? The Tasmanian devil? They're like the Tasmanian devils on the cartoons. So, I realize like there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to make certain, especially in the environments that I'm in, that these people are going to be able to find a peaceful path, that we're going to be able to deal with things in a peaceful way. I can see from the vision that that's just not going to happen, right? It's not going to work out that way. And so for me to minimize myself and minimize my power in some of the situations and be not so confrontational, and give them space to try to work it out, that's not going to be helpful either. So I'm going to have to be like standing up, and if they go batshit crazy, I'll have to deal with it, at that moment in time. And maybe it'll start to become, instead of them thinking I'm weak and they can, take their stuff out on me, or, whatever it's going to be, just because I don't say a lot. And I'm watching and observing, and sometimes these are taken as signs of weakness, and because I don't have anything to take, right? So, I guess now I'm just, a battering ram for quite a few people, which is fine. You know what? I'm learning about humans and how messed up they are. I mean, beyond messed up. They can't even like work together. Even the conscious ones can't work together. Once they reach a certain level of, status or whatever, they become dictators and controllers and manipulators. I mean, I think, reptilian. Our left hemisphere is very reptilian. So, it's about, taking a stand and being peacefully confrontational, and maybe that will teach them that this direction is not a good direction to get what they want. So in the future, their little reptilian left brain will throw up a flag and be like, oh yeah, don't go in that direction. That's not going to be a good direction. Go in this other direction. Go attack these other people, right? So I'm going to work on trying a different technique to see what happens, but I just really would like to have some peace in my space. And so if I can, redirect all that energy, it'd be super good. Yeah, stir the boogies. I have a video from a long time ago about stirring their boogies. I think, need to stir their boogies, because their boogies are full on in control of them. And I think, I had a confrontation yesterday. I don't really want to get into it, but when I looked up at the person, just totally going off on me on nothing, absolutely nothing. the black parts of their eyes, had these slits, like not just cat slits or snake slits, but like weird little hourglass slits. And it was interesting because I realized either they're half reptoid and they don't know it. And this is why their behavior is the way that it is. It's so extreme and psycho. Or they have a reptoid piggybacking them, or they have one that's eventually like moved in. Because most demonic beings and a lot of these shadow people and stuff like that, a lot of them are reptoids. So, so I think that's kind of what's happening. And it's not my responsibility, not my responsibility at all to deal with. The only responsibility that I have is when people don't want those things anymore and they start to actively work towards, wanting and having a real desire to get rid of them and to stop the behavior that has attracted those things to them and moved them into their bodies or on their bodies. And they have real desire for change, and I'm willing to step in and help. But when they thrive in those psychotic environments, they're not ready, and it's not worth me getting in the mix. And probably in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a video on my grandmother, and it's going to be really intense for me. But I think it's important for the information to be out there. Anyway, have a great day. Getting ready to do radio in about 40 minutes. And Revolution Radio, freedomflips.com, carrying stones, digging holes, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, thanks so much. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.